Play on. Hi, G. Sometimes when I am resting in the self, I experience tension in my jaw and in my head. It can be very distracting and fatiguing, and also makes me anxious because I unintentionally focus on it. Okay. So the self doesn't need to rest in the self. Right? Be clear about that. That sense of resting in the self. Notice that you've created a subtle duality there, as if the self was this state you had to arrive at. It is the self that is aware of the desire to rest in peace. I mean, no, not that way. Oops, sorry. And if you do that, then you become aware of the fact that there's just all of this stuff going on. Right? We can call it conditioning, we can call it karma, we can call it all sorts of stuff. But yes, attention can have. I remember for me many years ago, it was just my head would feel like, right? Which is simply the resistance to wanting to abide as the self. I urge you to try to make this transition, then rather than resting in the self, resting as the self. Because you can see how you've got a sense of myself as someone who goes in and out of the self, right? Is that really true? And you can see the effect that that has. Now, as you begin to withdraw more to be, oh, I am the self, right? Then it'll go, oh, if you're the self, why are you feeling all this? Why the tension in your jaw? All these reasons why. Well, if you really are that, it's the first temptation of Christ, right? Well, if you are the Son of God, I mean, if you are, well, prove it. This is how it works. That's the devil. That's the opposer, right? That's the prosecutor, right? So abide, rest as the self, and you realize that the self is always at rest, and that which is not at rest and seeking rest is happening on this screen. And so what if it shows up as a tension in the jaw or in the head? And what if it demands? So what if it demands that you focus on it? Notice that it's demanding you focus on it. You're trying not to focus on it. What happens? It increases the tension, right? There's a tension there. So what do you say? Okay, screw it. Focus on it. All right, tense jaw. You have all my attention. Now what? It doesn't change the fact that I'm the self. I am resting as the self. And in this state of rest, there's an appearance of a tense jaw. Okay, be here. It doesn't affect my rest. It doesn't affect who I am. It doesn't affect anything that's really going on. And so you have my full attention. What is it that you want to tell me? And that will just kind of let go of the conflict, let go of the very subtle idea, which is really an energetic assumption that I am separate from the self, that I am a separate functioning being. And instead completely shifts that relationship to that this is simply something appearing in the myself as I am, and it's okay that it appears. So what? It doesn't change who I am. And at this point, you drop all the conflicts. See, we have this idea that somehow if I'm really resting in the self, none of this will be happening. Well, you are abiding and resting as the self, because that's what you are, and this is happening. Okay? So drop that idea that it shouldn't be. And now what? What do you have left? Equanimity. The self is not some rarefied state, right? Where all is bliss, right? It's not that at all. It is a solid conviction that is unmovable, no matter what's going on. And life is going to challenge you, if you haven't noticed. And at some point you go, oh, great, great. The opportunity to dissolve even more of that which I have been holding on to that isn't actually me. Hey, everybody, GP here, and thank you very much. Since you've watched all the way to the end, I know you're getting a lot out of this message and this whole approach to spirituality and energy healing. So please, if this is meaningful to you and has been helpful to you, please like and share. As they say, press all those buttons down below. And for those of you who are able and really want to help support me in this, I do have my Patreon, my Patreonic place where you can support me in any way that you possibly can. I do all of this myself. I try to keep all the stuff here free and without any kind of advertisements or monetization. And in so doing, I do it all myself. The production, the quality, the editing, the audio, the lights, the makeup, of which there is none. I do it all myself because I want to keep everything as reasonable as I possibly can. So if you can find it to support me in this work, I deeply appreciate it. But thank you all for watching. And most importantly, thank you for taking the message into your heart and letting it touch you. Until later, namaste.